The founding day of the greatest fraternity in the world, Kappa Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and I'm so excited tomorrow, but even more excited to see the Raiders game today. Good afternoon. I'm a son of Baltimore, born in a small neighborhood called Penn North off of Ed and White Fox Street. And it was
I'm sorry, you say Penn North?
Penn North off of Ed and White Fox. And so West Baltimore all my life. It's in that same neighborhood where I saw my mom succumb to substance abuse at a very young age. And I've had a lot of opportunities, mostly because my grandmother and many relatives, I see my big cousin Tammy and her dad, stepped in a gap at a time where all of the safety nets that traditionally would be able to hold you up have fallen through. And I've had some tremendous opportunities. And so today, I serve in the Maryland Senate, one of 47 people. We tell the members of the House of Delegates now that I've transitioned down there, it takes 3 delegates to make one senator. Right? But the Western Avenue Development Authority, and I'll be really quick because I know you've heard from a bunch of people. Every year when I go to the legislature, I introduce anywhere from 25 to 30 pieces of legislation. Because there's so much that we need to get accomplished. But this year, because this is so important, I'm introducing one bill. One bill, and that's to expand the authority of the West North Avenue Development Authority. And I think Chad talked to you about it expands from 83 to Hilton and everything within 2 blocks in there. But West North Avenue is the second highest traveled bus route in the state of Maryland, right? So a lot of people come through North Avenue. But when you go through there, you're often the most visible thing that you see on North Avenue is not the wonderful anchor institutions we have. Like West North Avenue is the only street in Baltimore that has 2 E9 private libraries on the same street. We have great institutions like Coppin State University. I always like to say I represent 50% of the HBCUs here in Baltimore City. It sounds better than 1 or 2. I represent 50% of the HBCUs in the great city of Baltimore. But those aren't the things that stand out to you. What stand out to you is the blight, the disinvestment that has happened. So over the last couple of years, I've introduced legislation mainly to address the appraisal gap that robs especially Black communities out of wealth and the undervaluation of our property and things of that nature. But the West North Avenue Development Authority creates a unique opportunity to invest in people that have lived experiences who come from these communities to be a part of the revitalization of those communities. And what we've learned in looking at places like New York, New Jersey, and all over the country, that regentrification has displaced so much of our culture, so much of our history. And so we have an opportunity now to do revitalization in a way that's conscious driven, to make sure that individuals who are legacy residents of those areas have an opportunity to buy in. So when Chad was talking in his speech and his interview, the brother said 2 things that caught my attention. The first thing he said, when he told me he had people in public housing have ownership in a casino, I'm like, that's lit. You need that type of energy in Baltimore. And then the second thing he said, he's like, look, sir, I work for a lot of politicians, a lot of systems, a lot of organizations. The most important priority to me is Black folks. And if we're not in the business of elevating and empowering Black people, I'm probably not the right person for this job. Right? And with those 2 statements alone, I said, that's the guy that we need in West Baltimore. Right? And that's the type of work that we're doing. We're making sure that our people, Black people in particular, have an opportunity to realize the vision of generational wealth and see it in a real way, anchoring historically Black institutions like Coppin State University and others along that corridor. So I just wanted to stop by and say thank you. This morning I spent the greater part of the morning with over 200 residents from the 40th district. In our district, we have a tradition of meeting with our constituents the Saturday before session. We meet with them, tell them what we're going to do in this upcoming session, which starts next Wednesday. Then we meet with them again in like February and March. We say, all right, we promised you in January this is what we were going to do. this is what we've done so far, and this is how much further we have to go. And then we meet with them a third time at the end of the session and say, hey, we met with you in January, we met with you in February, March, now we've come back to tell you what we've delivered. And so this morning, had an opportunity to talk to over 200 residents about our plan and our vision and our priorities for this upcoming legislative session, which is going to be tough. We have a very, very tough budget ahead of us, but we will prevail, and we will, at least you have a commitment from me to make the best decisions on behalf of the people that I represent, especially here in West Baltimore. So thank you all so much for coming out here, and I don't know if that was it, but thanks for the opportunity. Thank you, Donnie, for all that you do. Donnie, for those of you who know Donnie, he's a great accountability partner. If you know him good work, he'll let you know. But if you're not, God bless your soul. Because he will also let you know that too. Thank you all so much for the opportunity to share.